Welcome back, or if you're new here, why did I touch my face? Why do I touch my face? I'm always get itchy. This light comes on and get itchy. Disney Villainous. Why did I pause? Why do I pause? Just keep going. Hello everyone, welcome back, or if you're new here, my name is Brandy, and this is Adventures of Tomorrow. Today we're going to be talking about Disney Villainous. This is the second expansion that Ravensburger came out with. So this is the first expansion Ravensburger came out with. So they gave us the original Worst Takes It All, which is the green one. That almost fell. And then they brought this one out, which was so much fun because I honestly had no idea they were going to do expansions, and now it's become kind of an addiction of mine. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the second board game, the first expansion. This one is Wicked to the Core, and it has, well, one of the characters is the Evil Queen. And now I can say Evil Queen because we're actually talking about the Evil Queen. I kept saying Evil Queen, I was talking about the Queen of Hearts. Hope everyone's having a really good day. And now we can get to it. This is the booklet. If you're looking at the other booklet from the first board game, which was the one with 6 characters, this expansion only has 3. So the booklet is just skinnier because it has to fit in a box. Moving the notes. It has to fit in a box that's about this big. And the inside, the fun thing about these is that when they made the booklet, they're not specified, even though you can interplay. So you can't play the Villainous Star Wars and you can't play the Villainous Marvel with the other Villainesses. You have to keep to the genre. So Star Wars Villainous can be played with Star Wars expansion packs. Marvel Villainous can be played with Marvel expansion packs. And the original Disney Villainous can be interchanged together. So you can use the very first game and play with characters from both games in the one game. So if you wanted to be Captain Hook and I was gonna say Queen of Hearts. See, now I'm gonna go backwards. Ugh. And if you wanted to play with Captain Hook and the Evil Queen, you can interchange those characters together and they will play properly, even though they're from 2 different game boards. Inside, they have these characters. So it has Dr. Facilier, the Evil Queen, and Hades. And they each come with their own little guides on this side. There's their little guides, the objective cards, which help you remember whose objective is who, and the little playing cards, and there's their fate decks. And then each one just has a little picture of what they look like, but I'm going to show you guys that. The rules are the same, except for when you're talking about the different objectives that these characters have. Excuse me. So the overall layout of how you play is the same. The objective cards, they're all the same, places. They got the same stuff going on. And let's get to it. Why does that come in my head? Let's see. This says take your roll. This is the same front, only made skinnier. Okay. I actually realized when I was doing these is that the villain objectives are on the back of your, what are they called? Objective cards? I want to say cheat cards, but that's not what they are. They're just giving you informational cards. They have the objectives for each villain on the back of the cards. They also have it in the first one that I showed you. They have all 6 of the objectives of the villains on this little card so that when you're playing other people, they don't forget. Alright. First, as I go everywhere, first it looks like weird. Oh my gosh! All my cards exploded. No! Look! They became I organized this so that I'd be able to start this video and be like, bam, I got this. But no, it decided it was not going to do that for me today. Give me 1 minute to fix this. Okay, so we're back. That was very chaotic. I got my glasses, I got my board. Last time I was doing this, I felt like it was a little too rushed through when I was showing you the board. So I'm actually going to put them at the bottom of this screen for a little bit, and hopefully you have a little bit. Hopefully you have more time to look over the board, because there's a lot of details and I really want everybody to be able to see them. Bear with me, please. It's been a minute since I played this game. This expansion, I believe, came out in 2019, and even though we try to play them a lot, they kind of, there's so many of them that they kind of just get lost in the shuffle. Plus, once you have the new characters, your kids are like, I want to be, who's in that one? Syndrome. And then you're going, okay, what if we wanted to be Prince John? Nah, I don't want to be Prince John. He's old. And then you go, all right, ouch. Okay. So first we're starting with Hades. And Hades, his objective is to start your turn with 3 titans at Mount Olympus. So in the Hades board, you have the Underworld, Thebes, the Gardens, and Mount Olympus. And there's no lock space on that, so that's great. When you buy the expansions, they actually come with their own little set of power tokens. And as I told you, I was going to tell you about, I told you, I was going to explain the Fate token. Ooh, yeah. This was put in the game so that, as I don't know if I said before, but I have a daughter who really likes to fate people, and that's her main objective. That's how she wins. And so this token is to stop whoever is being the fater or fated from just continuously doing it. So for example, my daughter can't just continuously fate me because she has a favorite parent. So she fates me, I get this token. She gets to go again. She cannot fate me. She has to fate the other person. And it's really good when you only have 3 people playing, because, of course, if it's 2, you can't have a fate token because you have to be able to fate the one person. But it stops the other person. Jeez. It stops individuals from only fating you so that you never have a chance to win. So this is why this is really good. And I think I'm going to buy that new... I was telling you about how the green one was revamped. I think I'm going to buy that one, and we're going to do an unboxing together, because I want to see how they changed the game. Because one of the things I heard was that they took out the fate token, and I want to know how... I want to know how you play now, because I don't understand Anyway, I want to know how you play easier than this one. Okay, here's his little booklet. Oops, I grabbed everybody's book. Hades. And his objective is to start your turn with at least 3 titans at Mount Olympus. To achieve Hades' objective, you must play titans to the underworld and move them across your realm to Mount Olympus. So you have to start them at the underworld, and then slowly, one at a time, you move them to Thebes, move them to the gardens, and then move them to Mount Olympus. And then, when you start your turn, come around, if you have 3 titans over here, you win. How many titans do they have in here? 1, 2. Well, I know they have more. I have the picture. I can't remember how many titans they even give you. So let's see if we can find. There's Argies. I probably said that wrong. Argies? Hydros, Lithos, Pyros. Yeah, and okay, so they give you 5. So you actually get 5 titans, and you only have to get 3 of them to Mount Olympus. Of course, they're shuffled inside your deck, so you don't just get them, because that would be unfair. So you have to get, you get your 5 cards, 4 cards, and then you play and you set all that stuff up. I can show you these Titans now. Guys. Not right. Lithos. Stratos. Pyros. Hydros. All the O's. Get it? You get it. Then we have allies. Let's get those together, shall we? The allies in Hades' deck are, or Hades' realm, Hydra, of course, Pain, Cerberus, Nessius, Panic. A lot of guesses. Get it? As you get it. I got the cards, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how they help Hades win the game. So there's the allies, there's the Titans, there's his booklet. All right, so we've got Get Ready to Rumble. This one is either pay 2 power to move an untrapped Titan to an adjacent location, or pay 5 power to move an untrapped Titan 2 locations away. Oh, I see. I was like, what? So you're here and there are hero cards, which are the fate cards, and they can trap the Titans. There are some of them that can make it so you cannot move them until you untrap them. So this card is you pay 2 and you get to move him over 1, or you pay 5 and you get to move him over twice. And sometimes it's better just to pay the extra money, because if you have, example, Zeus traps the Titans. If somebody who's fading you puts Zeus there, sorry. If somebody who's fading you puts Zeus there, and you move him over 1, then if it's their turn, they can move him over again. And then you're like, man, now I'm trapped again, and I have to find some other kind of way to get him untrapped. So that's why there's a little question mark on how much you pay, because it's all up to you. One rule. Planets align. Mortality potion. Achilles heel. People call my husband Achilles because he's tough. He also looks kind of like him. Like when you look at the Greek pictures of Achilles, my husband kind of looks like that. Very nice. Anyways, Achilles heel is you choose a hero. That hero gets -2 strength until the end of your turn. This is really good because if you want to defeat Zeus, because Zeus can trap your Titans, this makes him a little bit weaker, which really helps you out later on. One rule. Gain 1 power from each ally and Titan in your discard pile. That's helpful because you always need power, and the point of everybody fading you when you're Hades is that they don't want you to have allies or Titans. So when you can play this card, then you get power, even though somebody took something away from you. Untrap 1 or more Titans in your realm. The cost to play Planets Align is equal to the number of Titans you untrap. So there's Planets Align. Excuse me. So this is how you untrap them. When when Zeus traps your Titans, they are put this way. So then so here's how they are, but then they're put this way. And that is how everybody knows that your Titans are trapped. You play Planets Align. For example, you've got 3 Titans that are trapped and you need to untrap them. You'd pay 3 power and play this card, and all of them would be untrapped. Everywhere. Then I've got Mortality Potion. When Mortality Potion is played, attach it to a hero. Titans used to defeat that hero are not discarded. This is good because you want to use, your Titans are actually your strongest ally, and you can use them to defeat heroes. But when you do that, of course, you have to discard them. You play this card. You don't have to do that. Okay, let's get Hades' allies. Not his allies, his fate cards. Here's his fate cards. And inside this, we've got Zeus, Megara, Hercules, Hera. That's a lightning bolt. Ooh, there we go. Phil, Pegasus, and I think Hermes is the last one. Yeah. Then we have the Gospel Truth, which is a card that can discard an item or ally from Hades' realm. This one is good for them to play against you because it means that they can get rid of a Titan. Then we have Lightning Bolt. Choose a location in Hades' realm. All Titans in that location are trapped. This is a bummer for you because it means you don't even need a hero or anything. If you had, for example, 3 Titans right at the end before you have to get them to the last place, somebody would play this and all those Titans become locked up. Now on to I Got Friends on the Other Side. Pint! Dr. Facilier. His objective is to control the talisman and successfully rule New Orleans. In this expansion, he is the hardest one to play. He's kind of like, who was it? Jafar. He has a lot of rules. You gotta be like, I have this card and this card and this card. And then he has actually, now that I think about it, he's gonna be the hardest one for me to try to explain to you because we haven't played in so long. So this is a real kind of, let's do this together. It's like we're relearning how to play. Let's put away Hades just so I don't get confused on what's what. Okay, so in Dr. Facilier's board realm, we've got the Voodoo Emporium, the Parade, Tiana's Palace, Tiana's Place, and the Bayou. These are what his cards look like. Nice and pink. You know how I felt about pink. Okay, let's get his allies together first, shall we? Separated by item and effect and ally. Oh, that one's an ally item. Item, ally. That's not. There we go. Okay. Here's his little booklet. Man, he's wicked. I love Princess and the Frog. That animation that they did is amazing. Alright, Dr. Facilier's objective. Control the talisman and successfully rule New Orleans. Dr. Facilier is unique because during the game, you and your opponents will put cards into a fortune pile. When you play the cards, will tell. When you play the cards, will tell. Cards will be revealed from the fortune pile, and you will receive the rewards or consequences of those cards. The fortune pile is so confusing. Dr. Facilier is fun to play, but he has a fortune pile, and he has an unfortunate pile, and he has piles for days, and he is really hard to learn how to play. First, we have his items. This is the talisman you need to win the game. Then you've got his cane, which really helps him out. It's like having another friend. And frog form. So the frog form is, when frog form is played, attach it to a hero. That hero gets -2 strength. It really helps you defeat your good guys. The talisman, each time a hero with a strength of 3 or less is played to Dr. Facilier's realm, attach talisman to that hero. When that hero is defeated, talisman is returned to Dr. Facilier at the same location. This is good so in order to play this card, which is what you need to win, they have to play a hero, and you have to attach this to the hero. It's kind of like Ursula, where you need the Triton to win, but you can't have it like right automatically. So this makes it so when you play it to a hero, you defeat that hero, you get the talisman back. However, they can take this. There are hero cards, there are fate cards that can take this out of your hands, which then makes it harder for you to win. And then we have the king. Says, if Dr. Facilier is at this location, you may perform one available action at an adjacent location. So you play Tiana's Palace. Dr. Facilier went from the parade to Tiana's Palace. He can now play one spot at an adjacent location. So he can't play something at Tiana's Palace from the Voodoo Emporium, but he can play one action from the parade in the Bayou. And it does not, I lied. It does say you cannot use fate. So as long as the card specifies that you can't use fate spaces, then you can't. But if it does not say, technically, you still can. That says it. Let's read his, well, here's his allies. You've got the Shadow Spirits. Shadow Man. That's so cool. Look at that. Look at that card. That is cool. Mass Spirits. Lawrence. Oh, he's wicked. I like him. And Voodoo Dolls. Then we have Friends on the Other Side. Sleight of Hand. Rule New Orleans. This is the card you need to win along with the talisman. When they say you need to rule New Orleans, this is the card they mean you need to have. The cards will tell. Alright, so I am going to try to help you by trying to help me. You can help me and I'll help you remember how to play this villain. So we've got, to achieve Dr. Facilier's objective, you must reveal the card Rule New Orleans from the fortune pile. However, you also must control the talisman. So, in order to play Rule New Orleans, you either have to put it in your fortune pile or they have to put it in your fortune pile. Fortune pile. Dr. Facilier has a fortune pile that is separate from his decks and discard piles. You need to play Rule New Orleans in order to put it... Those are my dogs. I just started reading the longest, most important... No, they're probably just... Yeah. The neighbor's got a bigger dog, and my dogs don't like it because they're little dogs. And so they're like, no, you better stop. I'm mean. I'll fight you. Let me go bring him inside. Fortune pile. He has the... Dr. Facilier has a fortune pile that is separate from his decks and discard piles. You need to play Rule New Orleans in order to put it into the fortune pile before you can win. So you have Rule New Orleans, which is right here. You need to pay the 3 power and you can play it. And when you play it, you can put it into your fortune pile, along with whatever other cards are in there. As you're playing, so you want a little bit of cards in your fortune pile because you want to be able to get this card. And the more cards that you have to shuffle through, the less chance you have of getting that and winning the game. So you have Rule New Orleans, and then there are times that you put cards into the fortune pile, even though you don't want to, because, for example, it'll say if you want to use this card, it has to go in the fortune pile. If you want to use this ability, it has to go in the fortune pile. So it might be something like you get 2 power if you play this card, but you can get 4 power and this other thing if you play this card and put it in your fortune pile. And that's how it gets stacked on your end. And on their ends, they want you to lose. They want to put as much random cards in your fortune pile as they possibly can. So they'll play cards and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to put 5 cards in his fortune pile. And you're sitting here going, all right, well, now I have this instead of just 1 card. So then you've got them, and they have to stay face up at the bottom of your board so that everybody can see what you have. I can't remember if you have to lay them all out so they can see them, or you just have to have them face up, sitting piled in a nice, neat deck. When you want to try to find Rule New Orleans, you will play The Cards Will Tell. When you play this, you shuffle your fortune pile, and then you lay the cards out in front of you like so. Now, when you lay them out, somebody has to pull 3 cards. When your opponents, well, not when, but your opponents actually have to be the one to pull it. You have to pick one of them to pull 3 cards from your cards. The terrible thing is, if they've put these cards in there, they know they're not going to help you and they're just useless cards. So they're going to pull every one of these white cards out because they know none of these are going to help you win. However, if they have not had an opportunity to put those in there, this is what it looks like, and they just have to pick 3 cards. And of course, like we were talking about, if you have this many, your chances of getting the 3, not the 3, but the chance of you're getting the 1 card you need is not very high. However, if as you're playing, you had the opportunity to remove some, and now all you have are 3, or all you have are 2, you already know what's inside there. The thing is, when they pull those cards, that you have to do whatever it says on the other 2 cards. So, for example, this says, gain 2 power, put friends on the other side in the fortune pile. Gain 2 power, then discard friends on the other side. So, if you get this one and you play it, you have to discard this card, and it's easy. Because, because when you first played it, gain 2 power, put friends on the other side into the fortune pile. That's what happened the first time that you played it. Now, when you did Cards Will Tell and they pulled the 3 cards, you now have to do whatever the fortune card said. So it says, if you pulled it from the fortune pile, gain 2 power, then discard the card. So they're both good for you. You got money and you got to rule New Orleans. Then we have the Talisman. To win the game, you must have the talisman under your control when Rule New Orleans' fortune ability is resolved. It can be difficult to keep control of the talisman, so you'll need to strategize the best time to play it. If you have the talisman when a hero with a strength of 3 or less is played, that hero steals it from you. Move the talisman to the top of the board and attach it to the hero. When that hero is defeated, the talisman is returned to your side of the board at the location the hero was defeated. So, you want to have this card, but you also want to have the talisman. And when you finally got to play New Orleans, when you finally got to rule New Orleans and you got that card, and then you have the talisman, but then somebody had stolen that talisman by the time you decided to use your fortune pile to get this card, you still do not win because they stole the talisman before you had the opportunity to grab Rule New Orleans. Or vice versa. If you have the talisman, but then you never get to play Rule New Orleans because your fortune pile is full to the brim, you have to wait longer. And then they have a bunch of chances to take the talisman away from you. That's what makes it confusing. Because the fortune pile is actually not as hard to understand as it sounds like it is. Because it's literally just, you got the fortune pile, the cards tell you which cards go in there. And then when you play the Cards Will Tell, it does explain to you how to utilize all these things. So when you read the booklet, it's confusing. Or maybe when you hear me talk about it, it's confusing. But the cards do a really good job of explaining to you on the bottom how to do certain things. Now we have Dr. Facilier's good guy cards. Alright. I put some of them all together because I was trying to show you how easy it is for other people to really mess you up. I have Almost There. The Evening Star. Oh, Charlotte's upside down. Charlotte. Big Daddy LeBeau. We'll put these there and I'll explain to you later. I got Tiana. Naveen. Ray. You know, that was beautiful. When in the movie, when Ray ended up with the love of his life, that's the most romantic thing you can ever do. Even though it was so sad and heartbreaking, at the end, when you see them together, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Princess and the Frog, sorry. It's beautiful. Mama Odie, Eudora, and Louie. And then some of the cards are almost there. Look at the top 3 cards of Dr. Facilier's deck. You may put any of them into the fortune pile. Return the rest to the top of the deck in any order. This one is good for them because they not only can grab 3 cards to put in to your... Did they say any? Yeah. They can put all 3 if they want to. So then they put... Okay, for example, you'd have, I don't know, the Cane, the Talisman, or Rule New Orleans. These just so happen to be the 3 cards that you pulled when you played that card. The good thing for you is that you can now put all these into the fortune pile. And now me, as Dr. Facilier, have to work harder to try to get those out. However, if you have cards that are useless, that I really don't need, you put the cards like, if you got this frog form and Rule New Orleans in the Talisman, you'd put Rule New Orleans in the Talisman in the fortune pile. No, you might not put Rule New Orleans in the fortune pile because that helps me. Okay, so never mind. You would take these 2 cards and you would stack them. You'd be like, oh, frog form goes on top of Rule New Orleans, so that if I only grabbed 1 card, that would not be the card that I grab. Then I've got Evening Star. Choose an ally in Dr. Facilier's realm. Put that ally into the fortune pile. Example of a way that they can not only take something from me, but put it into the fortune pile to make it harder for me to win. Oh, and it's just another almost there. All right. So that is the very confusing, very frustrating, very fun, and strategic word of the day. Dr. Facilier Villainous board. Now we have the Evil Queen. Says, I'll be fairest in the land. Lightning, thunder, scary witch lady. First original Disney villain ever created. Way to go, Walt. She's wicked too, but she is beautiful. Oh my gosh. The animation in Snow White of the Evil Queen is some of the most beautiful Disney animation that I watch even now. Her objective? Simple. Defeat Snow White. I like it. She has the laboratory, the woods, the mine, and Dwarf's Cottage. Ooh, Dwarf's Cottage is locked. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. I don't know where my lock token. That's why. See, when I was organizing this, one of my other games has 2 more lock tokens than it needs. And I'm going, I wonder why. This is why. This needs a lock token. I don't have it. We'll utilize the fates. The fate token. It says, unlocks once 4 different ingredients have been played. Oh, those are not. I moved those so I could try to find the lock space. This is her booklet. Says, Evil Queen's objective, defeat Snow White. In order to achieve Evil Queen's objective, you must unlock the Dwarf's Cottage to play... by playing 4 different ingredients. You will also need to brew poison, which is used to defeat heroes in your realm, including Snow White. Snow White must be played either by you or an opponent. Finally, you will need to play Take a Bite when you are at Snow White's location in order to defeat her and win the game. This gets a little confusing because she has her power side and then she has a poison area. So these actually, for the Evil Queen, they represent poison and they represent power. Her ingredients she has to have are, let's separate like we did the other one, because they got all wrecked when I was doing things. I had them all nice and together, and then the box just decided, probably my children, somebody decided to shake it all up. All right. So first we have ingredients for what she needs to unlock the dwarf's cottage. We've got mummy dust, black of night, scream of fright, and old hag's cackle. Like my old hag's cackle? My old hag's bags? I look like a Disney villain sometimes. Then we've got her only ally, which I don't know. He kind of didn't seem like too bad of a bad guy, even though he was trying to be some type of way. He seemed like the Cheshire Cat. No, not the Cheshire Cat. The Cheshire Cat is a villain. He seems like the Mad Hatter. He's just misunderstood. Then we've got some items. Here's the throne. Magic mirror. I wonder why he's not an ally of hers. The box. And magic tombs. Yeah. No, that's not tombs. Tombs has B in it. Magic Tom. I don't know what that is. What's a Tom? Because I know Tom, T-O-M, but what's a T-O-M-E-S, Tom? Tom's. Tombs. Yeah, I don't know. And then we have Take a Bite. Take a Bite! And Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening, big Galileo. Okay. Sorry. Alright, ingredients. Ingredient is a card type unique to the Evil Queen. Ingredients function the same as effects, with one exception. The first time you play each ingredient, after doing what it says, put it below your board. If you play an ingredient that you've played before, do what it says, then discard it. In her deck, she has the ingredients, and she has doubles of each of these ingredients. So, for example, if you played Mummy Dust, you would, each time a fate action targets you before your next turn, take one potion from your supply, or take one power from your supply and add it to your poison. So it's a positive for you. You play it. I'm just going to play it, I don't know, in the laboratory. So I'd play this card. I'd pay my one power. I'd play this card. And every time somebody fates me, I get to take one of these powers and turn it into a potion. So you have power, potion. So you don't get confused. I put them very far apart, or else I get very confused. Or then maybe people who are fating you are like, oh, no, that wasn't a poison. That was a power. And you're like, no, it wasn't. Then you have Black of Night, which says you may perform one available action at your location again, even if you already performed that action this turn. You cannot use it to do fate actions. So you'd play this card at the woods, and then you'd be able to be like, oh, I took 2 power, and I activated something, and I discarded some stuff, and I played. By the way, you can discard, I'm pretty sure I said this, but you can discard your whole hand if you want to. Your turn's over after you do that. So you can play a card, activate, get some power, discard, but you cannot fate. So if you're in a place where you have to face somebody, you can't do that. Scream of Fright. Choose an unlocked location in your realm. You may move each hero with a strength of 3 or less from that location to an adjacent unlocked location. Then I play that to the mine. But then I would have to play Old Hag's Cackle at another one of these spaces, because I've already got one at each spot and there's only 3 extra spaces, but I need 4 ingredients. So I just play Old Hag's Cackle at the laboratory. And that says gain 1 power for each hero in your realm. Which means that if y'all decided to put 10 heroes up here, which I don't have that many, I do have the 7 dwarves. So if you decided to put all 7 dwarves on my thing, that'd be kind of messed up, and I'm wondering why y'all are fating me so much. However, I now get 7 power, so yay me. Then we have some little activated spaces. So if I played this card at the woods, it says, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Put 1 into your hand and discard the rest. This one's fun because if you have 4 cards already, if you decide to activate this, you technically can have 5 cards in your hand and nobody can tell you no. Actually, I think if you never played a card and you kept activating that, you just have a bunch of cards. But that's not how you win. Then we've got Throne. Take 1 power from the supply and add it to your poison. Ooh, this one's good because you need poison, and this card activated helps you do that. So if you played it to the mine, you ended up going to the mine. It has an activation little square. By the way, whenever you put it somewhere, if you land on the activated space, like the mine has an activation space, you don't necessarily have to only activate whatever's in that spot. You can activate any card you want to, but only one. Don't get greedy. Magic Mirror. Each time a fate action targets you, draw a card. Pay 3 power to find Snow White and play her. So this one is good, because the Magic Mirror helps you find Snow White, which is who you need to defeat to win. Then we've got the box. Gain 1 power for each hero in your fate discard pile, up to 3. So this one actually only makes it so you can have just 3. So you have 7 dwarves, but you only get 3 power. They put you on a limit over here. The Huntsman actually has an activated space too. Says move Huntsman to any unlocked location. This is helpful because you need him to defeat Snow White, and if he's under her location because you moved him there, she's now 1 less power. So that's nice. And yeah. Then we have Thunderbolt. Duplicate the ability of an ingredient you have played. The cost to play Thunderbolt is equal to the cost of the duplicated ingredient. Okay, so if alright, so you can only play these once. They're under your board, you play them once, and that's why when you replay the ingredient, you can do it again. So you can only utilize these ingredients one time. So here's the... Oops, I'm shaking. Which means if you want to use this, you'd be able to... You don't want to use it for Old Hag's Cackle because that doesn't cost you... Oh, no, you do. Okay. You'd probably want to use it for Old Hag's Cackle because that doesn't cost you anything to use. But if you used it for the Mummy Dust, you'd have to pay 1. You used it for Black of Night, you have to use 1, right? Yeah. Then we have Take a Bite, which is how you win. You get Snow White to eat that apple. Choose a hero at Evil Queen's location. Pay poison equal to that hero's strength. This is why you need poison. Because you need to be able to defeat Snow White. In order to defeat Snow White, you have to be able to play Take a Bite. You want to play Take a Bite? You need to pay some poison. And I think Snow White actually costs a lot. Let me see if I can find her. 4. She costs 4 poisons. Oh, gosh. Snow White gets 1 strength for each hero. So Snow White, if she had the 7 dwarfs, even with the Huntsman's -1, she would end up being 7, 10. Snow White would end up being 10 strength. So you'd have to pay 10 poisons in order to defeat her before somebody in your group decided they were going to get rid of Take a Bite, or they were going to kill everybody off, or they were going to get rid of your ingredient. Jeez. Snow White could be 10. This could last forever. Here's Snow White. Then we have Dopey. Oh, I'll explain to you that later. Grumpy. Happy. Sneezy. Oops. Get this out of the way. This one. Doc. Bashful. Sleepy. Oh, he's the last one. And then some of the other fake cards that they can use against you are Wishing Well, which is when Wishing Well is played, attach it to a hero. Each time Evil Queen moves to this location, she immediately loses 1 poison. So if you're not ready to defeat Snow White, and if they put this on her, every single time you have to move to that space. So if they put Snow White on a place where you need to get 3 power because you're broke, you keep losing poison, and you only get to use 2 of those spaces, and you just have to keep playing that way. It's kind of rough, if you ask me. All my cards are falling down. Then we have Love's First Super Romantic Kiss. He did it romantically to awaken her from a sleep where he thought she was dead. He was giving her a kiss. Go back. We're going to talk about it. Evil Queen loses 1 poison. Choose a hero from Evil Queen's Fate discard pile and put it at the top of her Fate deck. Oh my gosh. So if you had a hero that was... So let's use an example. Not Snow White. Dopey. All other heroes in Evil Queen's realm get 1 strength. So if you played Dopey and you put him on the top because he was right discarded, yep, and you put him on the top, and so now you pick 2, and you decided to play Dopey, then Dopey just made everybody on this team stronger. That's how that helps you. Along with romantically waking her up from a sleep that he didn't even know he was doing it. He was saying goodbye. Woodland creatures. Evil Queen must reveal her hand. Choose a card from her hand to discard. Oh man, so you only have so many take-a-bites. And if you needed this one, they could play that card and you have to show them. You have to be like, this is what I... Help me, I'm poor. And then they just take it out. You don't want them to, but they do. And then they discard it. And then you're like, man, I really hope all my take-a-bites are not now in my discard pile. Because if they are, I'm going to have to wait a minute. Okay. And that is the Evil Queen. I'm going to show you their little... These are their little characters. There's Dr. Facilier. Then we have the Evil Queen. And then we have Hades. So I was right. They didn't start doing collector ones until later on. The fun thing about getting them, so is you can only get the collector ones if you order a certain amount beforehand. So Target will actually have most of the collector pieces in their box. So you get the box and you buy it from Target. You pre-order, you buy the first couple hundred, whatever they made with the special. Because they don't all come with the collector piece. Only the first couple hundred or however they're making come with the collector piece. Spoiler alert. Well, you already know it's on the back. Anyway, they also come with a really cool sleeve. And I do not like sleeves and stuff. So none of my collector pieces inside have a sleeve. Because I just don't like, I barely like sleeves on my shirt. Like, I do not like sleeves on my books. I don't like sleeves on my Villainesses. You know what? I will put sleeves on my kids. There was somebody I will sleeve up. Ask my children. It's like 80 degrees outside. I'm like, you guys, there's a breeze. Go put some sleeves on those arms, on those shirts. I have no room to talk. I'm like, go put some sleeves on those arms so you don't catch a chill. Oops. Okay. That is Villianous. Wicked to the core. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys. I'm not saying it to like try to get anybody to feel some type of way. I do appreciate the time that you guys take to watch these things because I'm taking a lot of myself and putting it in here, and I appreciate that you appreciate it, and I just thank you, you know. But I don't want it to seem like I'm just trying to be like ingenuine either. I really do. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. And I finally got some subscribers. I'm going to go click them in or insert them. I don't know how to say it. I'm going to put them at the end so you can see. It's like so exciting every time they're like subscribed. I'm going, oh, I have like 6. I have 7. People are watching it. People care. I care too. So thank you so much, you guys, and I'll see you later.